here. Are you ready for your full length flow? We're going to go ahead and get started. You just need yourself and a mat. So let's go ahead and get started right here. Finding some space maybe at the top of your mat or just wherever you can. We're going to start with our feet nice and wide in a nice turned out position for me. We're going to inhale as we bend the knees. Take a nice deep big breath. Reach the chest up to the sky. A little bit of a back bend and relax the arms back out. Shake those arms out. And again, take a nice deep breath in. Again, looking up towards the sky and relax those arms down. And one more. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, relax those arms down. Now from here, bring our arms to the side. We're going to do small circles forward. Good. Nice, relaxing those shoulders down out of the ears, warming those arms up for me. And we're going to make those circles a little bit bigger. Now, as we make those circles bigger, making sure that our torso stays completely still, so we're not rocking around. Good, and reverse the direction, starting big for me, warming up those shoulders, warming up that back, and then make them slightly smaller for me. And again, keeping the shoulders out of the ears and relaxing everything down. Reaching the arms above the head. So it's like we're holding a giant beach ball over our head for me. We're going to take a little side bend over to the left side for me, like we're between two panes of glass. And exhale, come back through center. And to the right side, keeping grounded down through those feet. So we don't want to go forward, we don't want to go back, we're going exactly to the side. And last one for me. Go ahead, stay exactly where we are. Hold on to that right wrist as we pull across just like we did a second ago. Come down and around for me and come all the way up on that second side. Go ahead, switch the grip. Holding on to that left wrist, pulling across and then slight diagonal turn as we come all the way up. Perfect, keeping our arms where they are above that head. We're going to inhale as we lower down and exhale as we lift. Now with our arms overhead, can we really make sure that we're drawing those shoulders down our spine for me? Good, thinking about really pressing those knees out so our knees are tracking our toes. And let's start checking in with that Pilates breath. So we're going to inhale through the nose as we lower and exhale through the mouth as we lift. And again, 3 more, perfect, and 2 more, and last one, stay here for me. Can we lift the right heel and switch and lift the left heel? Now imagine that you have a book on top of your head and we don't want it to move. So we're really keeping everything else in the body still. It's just our heels switching that way. For 5, those legs start to warm up too. 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we keep both heels lifted? Can we lift ourselves up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Toes slightly forward, chin into the chest, belly button into the spine. Let's go ahead and roll down. So I want you to really think about just relaxing your head, neck and shoulders. Really release all the tension. Let our shoulders drop down to the floor. And then we're going to roll up for 4, 3, 2, roll our shoulders back at the top. Now, let's make our way, if we're not already there, to the end of our mats for me. So, we're going to have our feet a little bit narrow. We're going to bring the chin into the chest, belly button into the spine for me. Bend those knees and go ahead and just come into that quadruped position for me. So my hands are underneath of my shoulders, my knees are underneath of my hips. Let's start with a little angry cat. So inhale, that same breath we did before. And exhale, tuck our tailbone, lower back, mid back, upper back, chin, look towards the navel. And go ahead, inhale as we untuck from our tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Look towards the opposite wall. Push our shoulders away from our ears. And again, tucking our tailbone, lower back, mid back, upper back, chin. Look towards that navel. And untucking. Getting that nice articulation and movement in the spine. And bring that spine into a neutral. Now, I want you to look towards that right hip as the right hip kind of comes up towards you a little bit and back through center. So this one's called wag the tail. So we're looking towards the left hip as our left hip comes up towards you slightly. We can really feel that side body stretch. One more each side. Good. And come back through center. And last one for me. And come back through center. Now, from here, can we go ahead, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, lift our right leg up to the side like a hydrant. Circle that leg around and back down. So we exhale to lift and inhale to lower for me. We have 5. Now keeping that body completely still at all times for me. So we don't want to be dumping into that supporting leg. We have 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Can we reverse that circle? So we lift up to the sky. We laterally rotate, come into that hydrant and close. So we go ahead, we lift. We bring it around to the side and close. And this actually feels quite nice on those hips, to be honest, which sometimes get quite tight. Last 2 for me. Again, keeping our shoulders from our ears. Last one for me. Lower down. If you need to take a rest, feel free to. Otherwise, exhale, lift our left leg up to the side. Circle it around and back in. Now, the goal here, guys, is to keep your hips shining down towards your mat. So we don't want to think about getting higher with that leg at the expense of that nice articulation. Good. And 3 more. And 2. Are we making sure that the other 3 points of contact are nice and stable? Other direction, we lift up to the ceiling. We come up and around and bring it in. Good. And again, we have 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Now just take that little rest back for me. We can circle those wrists in one direction. We can circle those wrists in the other direction for me. And then go ahead. We're not quite done on that 4-point kneeling position. From here, take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, reach our right arm and our left leg for me. Helicopter them slightly to the sides. Right arm comes to the right. Left leg comes to the left. Bring them back in. And lower down, opposite side. Left arm reaches, right leg lifts. And then go ahead, only bring them out as far as you can keep our hips and our shoulders shining down to the floor. Go ahead, 1 more each side for me, keeping that torso, that trunk completely still. And last one for me, we go ahead as we reach out to the sides, bring them back in, and lower down. Tuck those toes into the floor, relax our shoulders back and down. And on your next exhale, lift those knees up and hold. Our gaze is just ahead of our hands. So our neck is an elongation of our spine. We hold for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. And send ourselves back. And we can always stack our fists and bring our forehead onto those fists if we need a little bit more support in that neck. Perfect. All right, now let's come on up to a kneeling position. If you have sensitive knees, then by all means, feel free to pop a pillow underneath of those knees. Our knees are directly underneath of our hips. We're going to reach our arms forward, relax our shoulders back and down. From here, looking at that one spot ahead that's not moving, we inhale as we hinge back and exhale as we come forward. And again, inhaling as we hinge back and exhaling as we come forward. We're moving as one from our tailbone to the crown of our head. Last one, we're going to stay back, lower our arms in front of our hips and start pumping from those shoulders. Good. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the goal, as with any 100, is to keep everything else still and controlled whilst we're vigorously pumping from those arms. Good. Ooh, yeah, we can feel those quads as well. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause, reach the arms up, come all the way forward, and give those quads some love. From here, I want you to step your right foot forward, helping it forward if you need to, and then land our hands down just either side of that foot for me. So slide that back knee back for me if that feels good to do so. Good, really thinking about getting into that hip flexor, which again feels a little tight sometimes. So this is all about happy hips for sure. Good, now, if that feels good and you want to come up onto that kneeling position, feel free to. We can have one hand, our right hand onto our thigh. We can reach our left arm up and we can take ever so slightly a little back bend, just like we did in our warm-up when we were standing. But of course, you can always keep our hands right back down on either side of our foot. Good, lowering back down. And let's switch that order. I can help that foot forward if we need to, guys. We're thinking about dropping our hips down, tucking our tail for me. Good. Taking a nice deep breath in for me. And then exhale. Go ahead. If you want to take that enhancement, go ahead and do so. Like I said, these progressions are just a suggestion. If you're not ready for it yet, there's absolutely no harm. In fact, all the benefit of staying where you can properly execute. And lower back down. Perfect. Let's come into a side seated position for me. So we're going to have our legs swept to the side. If this isn't comfortable to sit and you want to ever so slightly separate those legs a little bit so it looks more like a Z position, that's fab too. Otherwise, it's almost like we're side saddle on a horse. We're going to bring our right hand to our right ankle. We're going to reach our left arm up. We'll get as long as we possibly can. If my headphones weren't here, I'd try and get my bicep to my ear. Take a nice deep breath in as we grow taller, taller, taller. And then on our exhale, we keep that height as we reach down to the baseboard, or as far as you can go whilst keeping that height and that bicep by that ear. Come all the way up, lower the hand down, bring it to the floor, and just take that little counter stretch for me. Good. And once more, holding on to that ankle. Get up, 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 up. If your bicep doesn't reach your ear, that's fine. Just try and keep whatever distance is there. Try and keep that consistent. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, giving ourselves a gentle pull. Maybe we come a little further this time. But again, remember, how's that distance between our ear and our bicep? Come all the way up. Again, take that little counter stretch for me. And come on up. Let's take a side propped position. So our elbow is directly underneath of our shoulder for me. We're pushing away from that floor. We're pulling our waist away from the floor. From here, my legs are stacked like a little sideline tabletop position. And I'm going to lift that top leg up for me. So it's nice and parallel to the floor. So from here, we're going to internally rotate and tap that knee to the floor and come straight back to that parallel position. So we tap down just in front of the floor and back up to that parallel. Good. Now, whilst we're doing this, let's not collapse into that upper body, guys. So oftentimes, we have the upper body thing down and then we add something else on and then it just goes out the window. But I really want you to think it's like rubbing your head and patting your tummy. It's thinking about those two things at once, keeping multiple plates spinning. Good. Last one. And then let's go ahead and let's stay down. Good. We're going to stay here. Now, let's flex that foot, and we're going to diagonally press it back, like we're pushing a shelf back for me, and then bend the knee, point the toe, and tap back down in front. Again, flex the foot, pushing something imaginary behind you, and bring it back in. And again, we have another 8, and bring it home, and 7, and it's a slow, controlled pace, exactly what we're after. Good, you got it. Keep it moving and bringing it in. And we have another 4. We can feel that waist working here as well. And 3. How's that upper body doing? And 2 more. And last one for me. And go ahead, bring the leg in, stack it. Let's extend that leg and laterally rotate for me. We're going to just pulse that leg up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, let's combine those three moves. So we tap, we push back, and we bring our leg in and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We go ahead, we tap in front, we flex and we push behind, point the toe and laterally rotate, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, we tap and push back and bring it like a little rainbow and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Go ahead. Give everything a little bit of love and then come into a prop position for me. So we want to tuck that tail under for me. So that lower back is actually connected to the floor. We're keeping that chest proud though, as we bring right leg up into tabletop and left leg. From here, let's go ahead, flex the feet for me. Let's open to shoulder height and close. Again, as we open and close, we have 5, good, and 4, keep that tail tucked, and 3, and 2 more. Last one, stay here. If you want to add on, point the toes and extend the legs, flex, and bend, and close again. We open, we point to extend, we flex to close, and we bring it together again. Now, are we still pushing that chest nice and high like we're showing off a necklace? Are we still tucking that tail? Good. And last one for me. We open, extend if we're adding that variation, flex and bend, and bring together. From here, again, pushing up if we've lost it. Extend our right leg with a flexed foot, and we switch those legs as we switch. So it's like we're pushing something away, and switch, and switch. Can we still tuck our tail under? Can we scoop that belly out? And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both legs in, flexing the feet, either stay with our single or pushing both legs out and bring them in. Now, we want to make sure our pelvis isn't moving. So as we're extending our legs, our lower back is still pressed down into the floor. And if that means that your range of motion is more up here, that's fab, guys. We have 3 more. Push the shoulders from our ears. 2 more. And last one for me. Lower ourselves down, hug the knees in. Go ahead, take a nice deep breath in, extend our legs. Our first roll up of the day is a transition. We reach our arms overhead. Inhale as our arms come up. Exhale as we come up and over, sitting up tall. And let's swing our legs around the second side for our mermaid. So again, guys, we can sit in that Z position, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And if you need to add a little cushion to raise you up because it just feels too much in the hips, then feel free to for sure. Reaching our arm up, fingertip up to the ceiling, bicep in line with our ear, pulling on that ankle. We take a nice deep breath in to grow taller. Exhale as we come into that side bend. Now, can we keep our right glute grounded? Come all the way up, lower the hand down, and take that little counter stretch for me. Come all the way back, and again, pulling on that arm, coming up taller, 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 and come all the way over. And then we go ahead, lower it down, take that counter stretch for me, and coming on up. Let's make our way down to that side prop position. So just take a second to organize our hips, our stacked, our shoulders are stacked. Our elbow is directly underneath of our shoulder, and we're really pushing that floor away from the floor and pulling that waist away. Let's lift that leg up into a parallel position. We internally rotate from our hip as we tap down, and we come back to parallel. We inhale, tap, tap down, and back to parallel. And internally rotate, tap, and back to parallel. And we have 4 more before we add on. Perfect. And 2 more. How's that pushing away from the floor going? And 1 more. And now let's add on. Let's flex the foot. Push diagonally back for me. We can really feel that glute as we point the toe and tap the knee down in front. Flex and push. And point and tap down in front. We have another 6. And tap down. And 5. Perfect. And 4. Keeping a nice long neck. And 3. Keeping everything else in that body still. And 2 more. And last one. Now, from here, can we laterally rotate now? So we've gone from internally rotating to laterally rotating. We're going to pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and stack. Now let's combo. We internally rotate, we flex the foot and push it back, point the toe, laterally rotate and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We go ahead again, internally rotate and tap, flex and push back. Again, small undersweep and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, we internally rotate, we flex and we push. With a little undersweep and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one and tap and push and undersweep and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and lower it down. Give that glute some love. Perfect. Now let's transition onto a nice prone position for me. We're going to start by bringing our arms into a genie arms and resting our forehead onto our forearms. Our legs are going to be about mat distance apart, and they can go ahead and be laterally rotated if that feels good for you. Keeping our upper body completely grounded, we lift the legs up and lower down. Now can we put our pubic bone down and lift our belly button up and lower down. Now I won't see that, no one will see that, but you will feel more grounded. Good. We're going to do another 6 and lowering with control. And 5, never feeling this in the lower back, always just in the glutes and those legs. So focus how long can we get as opposed to how high we can get. Good. And 2 more. And last one, stay here. And let's beat our inner thighs together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Now, let's ground our lower body. So our lower body is not moving. From here, I'm going to get you to take a nice inhale as we lift the arms and that torso up so the forehead is still onto the arms. And exhale, lower back down. Again, we're grounding down through that pubic bone, scooping that belly up off the floor. And again, we have another 6 and lowering down, only coming up as high as you can. We don't want discomfort or pinching in that back. And again, and 3, keeping our shoulders away from our ears. And 2 more. Good. And last one for me. And lower. Now we're a little warmed up in the back. Let's extend those arms nice and long. So my legs are still shoulder distance apart. My arms are now shoulder distance apart. I'm going to get you to go ahead and we're going to do a combo of both the lower and the upper body lift. So we inhale as we lift the arms and the legs and the torso. And we exhale as we control back down. And again, we go ahead as we lift and pause like I'm taking a picture and lower down. Now, can your neck be a nice extension of your spine? So we're not looking up to the wall in front. We're not dangling the head down. And 3 more. And lowering back down. And 2 more. And last one for me. We're going to stay lifted. And we're going to go ahead and start lifting the right arm and the left leg and switch to the second side. So we're making that swimming motion for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Place our hands underneath of our shoulders and just come on up to a cobra. So you might feel good here. If you feel good to come up onto your pelvis, feel free to, but make sure that we're bringing that belly button with us, shoulders away from our ears, and then go ahead, lower it all down. We're going to do that one more time. From here, squeezing the glutes, belly buttons into the spine, pubic bone is pushing down. Now guys, do not come up this far if you don't feel comfortable. It's absolutely not a requisite. If you feel more comfortable here, then that's fine, guys. We'll warm up to that. Lower back down, and one more, shoulders plugged into the spine, pushing away from the floor, coming up to where feels good for you. Again, belly buttons into the spine, and lower back down. Good. Now, I'm going to come and face back towards you again. We can do this onto our elbow or onto our hand. So I'm going to come on up to my hand. Either way, you want your hand or your elbow directly underneath of your shoulder. Shoulder is away from our ears. We're almost again in this side-seated position for me. Bring that oblique up off the floor. Take a nice deep breath in, lift the hip off the floor. Make almost a little arc in that lower torso and tap back down. And again, we go ahead, we exhale as we lift, reaching up and over, pushing away from the floor and lower. And last one, we lift, reach over, look to the floor and lower down. So I'm going to face away from you just really quickly as we do that onto that second side. So again, whether it be the elbow, whether it be that hand, we're pushing away from the floor. Stacking those legs, take a nice deep breath in. We lift up, so it's like we're trying to make an arc out of that bottom oblique and lowering back down. And again, squeezing those knees together if we can. And control back down. And last one for me. Good. And lowering down. And let's go ahead and control all the way back down onto the floor for me. Getting ready for our shoulder bridge. Our arms are down by our sides. Let's have our feet walk towards our hips a little bit. Now guys, if we have someone that finds that we get a little bit of cramping in our hamstrings with these bridges, which is really common by the way, try and do it really, really slowly. Okay, so there's definitely no rush here. We're going to raise our fingertips up towards the sky for me. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're just going to reach the fingertips towards the ceiling and exhale as we retract our shoulder blades down. And again, reaching the fingertips up to the sky and squeezing that imaginary IKEA pencil in between our blades. And two more. And squeezing them together. And one more. And squeezing them together and settle our shoulders somewhere in between. So that really is a great neutral position for our shoulder girdle. With that being said, we take a nice deep breath in and we exhale as we peel and roll up into our bridge. Hips come up, ribs stay down and melting all the way back down, articulating down. Again, like a band-aid, coming up off of the skin, lifting our hips up, pause for a second, inhale, and exhale out all the way down. Now as we're coming up, can we make sure that we're tracking those legs? Our hips, our knees, our ankles are all in a line. And as we come up, our knees aren't flailing out to the side or knocking back together. Good, last one for me. And we can either stay with this, bridging up and down, or we can put all of our weight into our right foot and bring our left leg up into tabletop. From here, extend that leg if we can, and we're coming onto a little lateral dead bug. Our right arm comes out a little bit, our left leg comes out a little bit, and we come back in. Lower that foot down. So remember when we were in that 4-point kneeling position. Second leg comes up. Again, opposite directions. Everything else stays completely still. Get those hips up nice and high. Remember, we want that tray star, but staying still. Left leg comes into tabletop. Extend it. opposite arm, opposite leg, only going as far as you can keep our hips and shoulders facing to the ceiling now. And right leg comes up, extend, opposite arm, opposite leg, come all the way in and lower the foot down. Can we keep our hips lifted? Can we place our hands into a little diamond underneath of our tag of our pants and gently lower down onto that? So again, relaxing our shoulders down onto the floor, bringing our right leg up into tabletop, our left leg, extending both legs for me. We're going to laterally rotate, zipping up from our ankle all the way to our inseam as we bring our legs to the right side. And we're going to circle those legs down and around and come all the way up through center. Other direction, we come to the left, keeping those inner thighs zipper together, keeping our back onto the mat, and to the right, and around and back in. And last one to the left, and circle and center, and pause, bring our legs in parallel. From here, we're going to lower our left leg down, and then we're going to scissor switch the legs as we switch, and switch, and switch, and 10. Now, if your range of motion is more here, that's great too, guys. Again, keeping that pelvis square to the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the legs, remove the hands, hug those knees into the chest, and then just rock a little bit from side to side for me. Good. We're going to place our feet down onto the floor, and let's walk those feet a little bit further away from our bum. Now, let's go ahead, and I should say before we do this, guys, if you need the help of a band to assist you coming up, feel free to. We can just wrap it behind the back of our legs and use it as a little help. Or if you guys, a towel would work as well, guys. Or if you need to use the back of your legs just to help you up, feel free to. We're going to extend our right leg nice and long for me. We're going to reach our arms overhead, but make sure that those ribs are tucked into your torso. We're taking a nice deep breath in, exhale, tuck the chin, sweep our legs around, and we come up, up, up. So our tail is tucked, our arms are reaching, our chest is proud, and our shoulders are relaxed. We lower down, let's reverse that. We lower down, sweeping the arms around and reaching them overhead. Are we still tucked in those ribs? Taking an inhale to prepare. Exhale, tuck our chin. Using that breath, chest is proud, tail is tucked. And control back down, really teasing gravity. And last one for me, inhale and exhale. Good. Let's switch those legs. Let's lower down with control, reaching those arms. We're going to do a few on that second side. Again, ribs are melted down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. And control down one vertebrae after the other. Reaching, reaching, reaching. And again, last two for me. And controlling back down. And last one for me, we're going to stay up at the top. Perfect. Bending the legs and then extending the legs. Sitting up nice and tall. We reach the arms up overhead and then round forward, like someone's putting a seatbelt on you and you can't go forward. Arms are parallel to the floor, ears are in line with those biceps, and we roll down. 4, squeeze those glutes. 3, 2, 1. Remember, we can always do this with bent legs as well. From here, we inhale as our arms come up. Exhale, that seatbelt is on. Arms come forward, belly button comes back. And squeeze those glutes to control coming down. And last one for me. Inhale as our arms come up. Exhale, reaching over that beach ball with that seatbelt on and sitting up as tall as we can. Now guys, if you need to go ahead and have a little cushion underneath of your bum, just to raise up and get out of those hips a bit, feel free to. We're going to separate those legs about shoulder distance apart and flex the feet. We're reaching our arms forward. And again, relax those shoulders back and down. Remember the exercise that we did, we were reaching and retracting. Now this comes into place. Take a nice inhale, exhale, scooping and rounding over that beach ball. Arms come forward, belly button comes back, and inhale as we grow taller. If you need to bend our legs in order to do this, fab. We reach forward. If we're able to get more reach and scoop by taking the hamstrings out of the equation, then that's always a win. Again, reaching forward, rounding and scooping, and come all the way back up. Go ahead, lower the legs down if they've been bent. Reach our arms into a T. Feet are still flexed. Grow taller on an inhale. Exhale, rotate to that right side. Hinge over, reaching that back arm back. And pulse that past that baby toe for 3, 2, 1. We come up, grow taller, back through center. Still keeping that T position. Ground that opposite hip bone. And 3, 2, 1. We come all the way up. And center, one more each side. Rotate and pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. And coming on up and center, last one. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up. Back through center, lower the arms down. Bending at the knees and scooch forward. We're going to come on to our open leg rocker. So let's all start with our hands behind the back of our legs for me. So I want us to have our feet ground down to the floor for now. Our knees are still open, our legs are still open, that shoulder distance apart. We're pulling on those legs. Those legs are pulling on those hands. And then we go ahead as we tuck our tail and lever ourselves back. And exhale as we bring that chest up proud. Legs pulling on the hands, hands pulling on the legs. And again, we tuck and we round for me. And come all the way up. Now, if that's enough for you, you stay here. That's brilliant. Otherwise, let's scoot back and let's float our legs up into tabletop. From here, we're going to do the same thing. Keeping our legs into tabletop, we pull that chest up proud, pulling on the legs, legs pulling on the hands, keeping our legs unchanged. We round that spine with the spine, not just the shoulders. And come all the way up for me. And last one, and we can either stay here or we can stay in this rounded position. We're going to add a little rock and roll. So we're going to roll back to the shoulders, come all the way up, catch ourselves and pull ourselves up proud. And again, tuck and round, coming up, pulling on those legs, legs pulling on those hands. And last one here, and we either stay here or try and extend those legs. Tuck and round. We come all the way up, pulling on our legs, legs pulling on our hands. And last variation, tucking that tail, coming all the way up. Chest is proud, tail is tucked. Close the legs together and bend the legs and lower ourselves down. And if you found yourself migrating to the end of the mat like me, let's scooch ourselves all the way back for me. Good. We're going to hug those knees in for me. We're going to rock a little bit from side to side. Good. And then from here, let's lower our left foot all the way down to the floor. Good. We're going to extend that leg nice and long. Let's flex that left foot for me. Really ground the back of that left leg into the floor. And I want you to carry on holding and pulling your right knee into our chest. So again, guys, this is really about, like I said at the start, happy hips. So I want you to hold that leg, which is in tabletop, hold on with your right hand to the outside of your left leg. And I just want you to pull that leg across for me. And if it feels good to look over that opposite shoulder, feel free to. This is actually one of my personal favorite stretches. If you ever got a tight spine, this feels awesome. And who doesn't have a tight back these days, right? And if you want to extend that leg a little bit to get a bit more, feel free to. Otherwise, keep it bent. And then go ahead, wherever you were, come back through center for me. Lower the foot down and opposite side. So I really want you to flex that right leg into the floor for me. And really ground that heel into the floor, pulling our left knee into our chest. Again, keep our shoulders back and down for me. Good. Again, left leg into tabletop, right hand holds onto the outside of that knee for me. And we're going to pull that leg across. Now again, if it feels good to look over to that opposite, then feel free to. Otherwise, just look up to the ceiling if that doesn't feel great on our neck. Good, breathing, breathing, breathing. Again, if you want to extend that leg, feel free to. Grab hold of the ankle. Otherwise, enjoy this stretch. And go ahead, come back through center. Now, let's bring both of our legs. And in fact, let's bring our whole self onto our side. Now, this can feel a little awkward. So we can have our arm just as a little pillow underneath of us. So, back is nice and long, legs are stacked. Let's squeeze those legs together. Let's reach our left fingertips forward, relax our shoulders down, and then keeping your legs squeezed together, facing towards the front, let's inhale as we open up that imaginary book for me. Again, the stretch feels even more glorious if you can keep those knees squeezed together. And go ahead, exhale to close. And we inhale, we open, and we exhale to close. And last one, we're going to stay open, and we're just going to stay open just for a few breaths for me. Nice deep in through the nose and out through the mouth for me. Again, our upper body is opened, our lower body is closed and facing towards the front. And exhale, close. Let's go ahead. My back's going to be towards you just for a second. We're going to come onto that second side for me. So again, legs in a side tabletop position. Arm is as that pillow, reaching our right fingertips to the wall in front of us. Keeping our legs squeezed to the wall in front of us. And open up that book. So again, our legs are squeezed together for me. And go ahead and close. Two more here. We open. Good. Maybe you've got one side that feels a bit more flexible than the other. And close. And last one for me. We go ahead as we open. Stay open. Breathing here. Really expand into the ribcage, out to the side and the back. Keeping those legs squeezed. Come back through center. And let's just lie onto our back. Hug the knees in. And we're going to rock and roll up into a seated position. So we're going to do a seal to stand. We've been practicing these a little bit lately. So again, reminder, our legs are open. We're holding on. Arms come through those inner thighs and just clasp around the edge of the ankles for me. So we're going to do 4 seals. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stand on the last one. So needless to say, when we stand, we remove those arms, right? Good. Okay, so let's lift the feet up. Let's push our arms against our inner thighs and our inner thighs against our arms. So we're really creating that lock. Round that tail, round all the way up to the crown of the head. Look towards that navel. We go ahead, we inhale to roll back to our shoulder blades. Exhale as we come up, we pause, we catch ourselves, we hold, and we clap those soles of the feet from those inner thighs for 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, roll back. Exhale, we come up and we clap for 3, 2, 1. And again, inhale. Exhale, we hold and clap for 3, 2, 1. Now this last one, we're going to remove our arms as we roll back. And we're going to stand up. Inhale. Exhale. Cross the ankles. Coming on up. Ta-da! I feel like you should say. And then take a stand onto the floor wherever is good. We're going to finish exactly as we started. We're going to have our feet nice and wide. We're going to bring our chin into our chest. Our belly button into the spine as we roll down for me. Let's walk our arms over to that right side, really trying to ground down into that left foot and come back through center. Walking over to that left side, really trying to ground down into that right foot and come back through center. And let's bend our knees and push those palms down. Extend our knees and see if we can keep those palms pressing down. Again, we bend.
Can we get into those hips a little bit more? And extend. And last one for me. Can we bend? Good. And push down through the floor as we extend those legs. Toes face forward for me. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. And then roll up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we roll the shoulders back? Let's walk our feet in so that underneath of our hips. Let's take a nice shoulder roll. Shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze back. Slide down. And last one, shoulders to the ears. Squeeze back. Slide down, and those words you've been waiting for. You, my darlings, are all done. Fabulous job, and I will see you next time.